Good afternoon students, this is your Prasanna Ma'am from NEET World. So yes, we are in our IPE session 2, okay, of first year, wherein in our previous class we have dealt with 2 long answer type of questions which are very important. One is with respect to root modification, second is stem modifications. So before getting into the LAQ practice, now I would like to introduce a new book which is being launched from NEET World, and here in this book, this IPE book, the book is completely for free of cost for soft copies. Links are available in the description. So here in this book, all the very important questions are highlighted and covered in total with mnemonics and flowcharts given to remember the answers clearly. Okay, so very important questions of LAQs, SAQs and VSAQs are covered, and complete blueprint with weightage is provided, complete blueprint with weightage is provided, simple and easy to understand and solve all the questions, and question papers and model papers, guest model papers and previous year question papers are also given at the end of the book. And lastly, to exercise that book in detail and to cover complete IPE course, from NEET World daily you will be having classes for 60 days. 60 days massive revision program is going on for all 11th and 12th standard BPC students. Okay. So yes, let's get started beta. Let's get started with LAQs. So here if you see in our previous class from Morphology of Flowering Plants, many a times asked question from root modifications might be, shoot modifications might be, we have dealt with the mnemonics and flowcharts. If you remember that mnemonic and flowchart, then you can easily get through the answer. So here if you see, second type and most important question which is once asked in March 2019, that is racemose type of inflorescence. Inflorescence is important both for EAP set and for IPE exam. Just basic characteristics of inflorescence, that is racemose and cymose, you will go through for NEET. But types of racemose inflorescence, types of cymose inflorescence are stressed and focused, highlighted for EAP set exam. And if you cover this answer, EAP set preparation also will be covered with respect to the topic of racemose inflorescence. So here first you have to define what is racemose inflorescence beta. Racemose inflorescence is a type of arrangement in flowers where the main axis continues to grow indefinitely. Main axis shows indeterminate growth here. Main axis will show indeterminate growth, and flowers are borne laterally in acropetal succession. Laterally in the acropetal succession means large flowers will be at the base and younger flowers will be at the top. Okay, older flowers at the base and younger flowers are at the top, that is acropetal succession. These 2 points are very important because these are characteristics of racemose inflorescence. So racemose inflorescence where the main axis grows indefinitely, that shows indeterminate growth, and laterally flowers will arise in the acropetal succession. And this point also you can say like the main axis will not terminate to flower, will not terminate to flower. This point also you can mention Okay, and then now types of racemose inflorescence, like you have 2 types of racemose inflorescence. One, it is purely based on branching. Okay, unbranched type simple racemose inflorescence and branched will be compound racemose inflorescence. So simple racemose inflorescence, if you see, the main axis is unbranched and this bears flowers laterally again in the acropetal succession. As such, we have different types of racemose inflorescence, excuse me. So different types of racemose inflorescence if you see. First is raceme type of racemose inflorescence. Here the main axis is elongated. Okay, the main axis is elongated and this bears pedicellate, that is stalked flowers in acropetal succession. Okay, stalked flowers are present in acropetal succession, which is nothing but older flowers are at the base and younger flowers are at the tip. Examples for each type of racemose inflorescence is very important. Each type, both for simple racemose inflorescence and compound racemose inflorescence, you have to remember the examples, for which I have provided you a very easy mnemonic where you can remember the examples for sure. So, here raceme you can see Crotalaria and Mangifera, these are the examples. And second is Corymbs, okay. Corymbs, here flowers are brought to the same height at varied lengths. So, here at varied lengths all the flowers are brought at the same height. Here you will have different lengths of pedicels, you can also use the term varied lengths of pedicels. All the flowers will be at the same time and they same height and they will arise at different notes. These are the points to be highlighted and covered, okay. So, here the examples will be, you can remember Corymbs, C and C, that is Cassia and cauliflower. These are the examples. Next is what beta? Umbel type. Here flowers will arise at the same point of the peduncle. See, if this is the peduncle which is the common axis or the common stalk of the flower, here at the tip of the pedicel from the involucre of the bracts, pedicels will be arising like this, okay. And these pedicels are arranged in the form of an umbrella, okay. So, these are mostly seen in Apiaceae family, best example is onion, and Umbelliferae example is carrot. In these type of plants, umbel type of inflorescence is seen, where all the flowers will arise from the common point of the peduncle. Next is what ma? Spike type of inflorescence. Here acropetally arranged, but flowers are sessile, they do not have any pedicels to hold, okay. Flowers are sessile, acropetal arrangement of sessile flowers on the peduncle. Especially these are observed in Poaceae family. Poaceae family is there for your NEET exam, no? When we are going through the floral characteristics, we have gone through that, and Acheranthus is the example. So, these are the types of what beta? Simple racemose inflorescence. First is what? Simple raceme, next corymb, and then umbel, and then spike. These are the types of simple racemose inflorescence. And next here you can see specialized racemose inflorescence, after which we will go through compound racemose inflorescence. Specialized types of inflorescence, here two things are highlighted beta. One is spadix, second is head or capitulum. In spadix, it is same like spike type of inflorescence, where peduncle will have sessile flowers, but they are covered by a bract like structures which is called as spathe. So, here you can see this is the spathe which is covering the bract like structure, which is a bract like structure which is covering the entire inflorescence. So, if a spathe is covered over the spike inflorescence, in simple terms, that is called as what? Spadix. Sessile, unisexual and neuter flowers, they are arranged in the acropetal succession which are protected by a spathe or bract. The bract is termed as what? Spathe here. This is observed in Coccus, Colocasia and Mosa. And then head or capitulum type of inflorescence which is observed in Asteraceae family, also called as Compositae. Examples include what beta? Tridax and sunflower. Here how can you describe this type of inflorescence as unisexual, bisexual, sessile flowers? They develop centripetally, okay, they develop centripetally on a condensed peduncle, okay. Mode of development is what? Centripetal. So, here you can see simple raceme and panicle which is a compound raceme, spike, okay, and here you can see spadix, corymb, and here it is umbel, compound umbel, head inflorescence of capitulum. These are the diagrams to be highlighted. It is up to your wish ma where you are mentioning the diagrams bolke. Here if you see the simple racemose inflorescence, raceme type, here only you can draw a diagram. Corymb, here only you can draw a diagram. Here diagrams of the inflorescence should not be much highlighted. You just describe the diagram, it is enough. Immediately after the point also you can mention. See here if it is corymb inflorescence, at each node like show the varied lengths of the pedicels that they are arising, and show that all the flowers are at the same height. That is it, okay. And here if you see in the umbel, give a peduncle with a common bract which is called as involucre of bracts, and here you give rise to what? This pedicels, okay. That is it. Clear, right ma? Okay. Yeah, next you see. Compound racemose inflorescence. Compound racemose inflorescence, compound raceme is addressed as panicle, okay. Compound raceme is addressed as what ma? panicle. Here you see panicle, a branched raceme where the main axis will bear branches and each branch will bear flowers on the pedicels. Okay, each branch will have flowers on the pedicels. Best example is Gilmore. Next, compound corymb. Here inflorescence where the main axis is branched here and each branch ends in a smaller corymb like arrangement of the flowers. Each branch will end like here if you see, yeah, they will end up to the same height, and here also they will end up to the same height with varied pedicels. This is called as what? Compound corymb. Fine, right ma? And next you see compound spike, a branched spike wherein the main axis bears branches. Here the main axis itself is bearing what? Branches, and each branch has what? Sessile flowers. Each branch will have sessile flowers. Here if you see the main axis and here you see the sub axis. Okay, and here the sessile flowers are formed. This branched spike you can see with sessile flowers at the branches. Okay, the branched spike where the main axis bears branches and each branch has sessile flowers. Example is what? Sugarcane. Next is what ma? Compound umbel. A compound or a branched umbel where the main axis will bear secondary umbels. Main axis bears what? Secondary umbels. Those are addressed as umbellets. Example is what? Carrot. Here also it is up to your comfort beta. After panicle you can draw the diagram. After describing and giving the example, compound corymb diagram you can draw. As such you can draw. It is up to your comfort. Or else you will describe two at a place, that is simple racemose inflorescence, compound racemose, special type of inflorescence. Completely after the description also you can give the diagrams, or at the first you can give diagrams and then you can describe. It is completely up to your comfort, but then examiner will be definitely looking for the definitions of each type of inflorescence and then examples in particular and then diagrams. These three things should be given properly. Okay, then you will get complete marks. Fine, right? Yeah, here you see a mnemonic where you can keep complete, yeah, here you see ma, a mnemonic to remember the complete racemose type of inflorescence. So, to address this comment section for EAP set BIPC students, yes ma, EAP set sessions are already going on, you can go through the playlist, fine, right? So far we have completed so many chapters from 11th text of your botany, wherein diversity of living world, biological classification, plant kingdom, morphology, anatomy. 5 chapters are done in total beta. Complete content is there in the playlist with the AP set previous year questions practice. Okay, complete content is available in the playlist. You can just go through it. If you are still having any concerns, you can drop a message in the comment section. I will be addressing that. Okay, yeah. So the mnemonic here is real cool umbrellas shine specially high, plants can shine clearly. So here you see for simple racemose inflorescence R, real, that is for raceme, and then C for corymb, U umbel, and S spike and spadix, and H is for head or capitulum. This completely covers simple inflorescence and specialized type of inflorescence, that is spadix and head or capitulum. Next, compound inflorescence, if you see panicle, compound corymb, compound spike and compound umbel. Okay, so compound spike and compound umbel, all the types of inflorescence are covered, and with respect to each type of inflorescence examples should be noted beta. Examples you have to fix it in your mind. Okay, just go through all the examples and fix it in your mind with the mnemonic. Then we will have a flow chart. You can take a screenshot of this flow chart. If you remember this screenshot also, it is enough. If you know the description of each type of racemose inflorescence, and you have this flow chart, you can easily go for the exam. This question is yours in the exam hall. Okay. Done with this, ma. Next, we will start the chapter Histology and Anatomy of Flowering Plants. In every consecutive years, you will get one long answer type of question definitely from Histology and Anatomy of Flowering Plants. So, in this, the very first question that we are going to address is the internal structure of a dicot root. It is very simple, ma. See, even for MSET, even for NEET, even for IPE exam, these things are very important, that is comparative analysis between dicot, monocot root, stem, leaf, highly important concept. Okay. So, if you cover this long answer, parallelly regarding this concept for NEET and MSET also the preparation will be done. So, here you see, ma, describe the internal structure of dicot root which is appeared in March 2018, May 2022 and May 2024. This is nothing but first you have to see like which dicot root you are actually examining. For example, sunflower root. You have three major regions in the dicot root after transverse section. What are they? Here you have to mention TS shows. TS shows. Before these three regions, you can also write three regions of the root. Three regions of the root. First is what? Epidermis, cortex and stele. Right, ma? So, here you remember one thing. Epidermis is also addressed as piliferous layer, epiblemma or rhizodermis. Fine, right? It is also addressed as what? Piliferous layer, epiblemma or rhizodermis. From here, the epidermis of the root is not covered by any waxy coat cuticle. It has unicellular hair like projections called as root hairs. Okay. Below that you have what? General cortex region. General cortex is parenchymatous. After which you have endodermis. From this diagram only I will explain you and then we can go through the theoretical description. So, here you see the last layer of cortex is endodermis. Endodermis has the Casparian stripes which are radial and tangential depositions of suberin. Very important. Okay. It has radial and tangential depositions of suberin which are addressed as Casparian stripes. And below which you have the stele region. Stele region includes what, ma? Single layered pericycle. Pericycle is parenchymatous, after which you have vascular bundles at the center. Vascular bundles in the dicot root, they are arranged in the radial fashion. Radial type of vascular bundles. As this is dicot root, you can say it as open type of vascular bundles, wherein xylem and phloem. Xylem, phloem. These are occurred in a parallel way, wherein the tissue which is present in between xylem and phloem is known as conjunctive tissue, and it arises from which region? Pericycle. Pericycle and conjunctive tissue, it arises like this and a wavy cambium is formed. Okay. A wavy cambium is formed as such. Okay. So, here you see, ma, next epidermis, the clear description, very important, look into it. This is the outermost layer. See, whenever you are attempting long answer type of question, the way you are presenting the question is important, ma. Okay. Always I encourage you to describe the answer point wise. Don't go paragraph based answers. No, a big no for paragraph based answers. You should always present your answer in a point wise manner, in a systematic point wise manner. Okay. First you have to describe the epidermis. We have discussed it already from the diagram. Diagram is very important, and for anatomy, histology and anatomy type of questions, first I advise you to draw the diagram only, because once if you draw the diagram you will get that sequence, like what regions, how you can elaborate that diagram. Okay, so first my advice is draw the diagram and then start describing the answer in a point wise manner. So here you see epidermis. The outer layer of the root is called as what? Epidermis. Epidermis is uniseriate. Uniseriate, which means single layered epidermis. Okay, uniseriate means single layered epidermis. It is composed of elongated, compactly arranged cells, and many epidermal cells will protrude as what? Unicellular root hairs. And epidermal cells here and root hairs, what is the main purpose of that? That is absorption of water and minerals. That is why there is no waxy cuticle above the epidermis in the root. Next, cuticle and stomata are absent, and epidermis provides what? Protection to the inner tissues. This is the sequential description on how you can describe the epidermis. Clear, right, ma? Yeah. Next you see cortex. It is composed of several layers, and cortex is completely composed of what type of tissues? Cortex is composed of thin walled parenchymatous cells. Remember that it is composed of what? Thin walled parenchymatous cells, and the innermost layer of the cortex is what? Endodermis. Endodermis is the innermost layer of the cortex region. Here endodermis consists of single layered, important to describe the endodermal cells. Every examiner, when dicot root answer you are writing, they will be looking for the endodermis description, Casparian stripes term and the suberin depositions. Those terms will be checked beta, very important. Okay, highlight them when you are writing. So here you see endodermis consists of single layer of barrel shaped cells. This consists of single layer of barrel shaped cells without any intercellular spaces. Tangential and radial walls of endodermal cells, they are impregnated with suberin, which is a waxy deposition again. This is water impermeable material. This is impervious for water. This also you can write. Okay, it is impervious for water supply or water conduction. Impervious for conducting water. This also you can use, ma. Fine, right, for in the form of Casparian stripes. And third is what? Stellar region. The central conducting cylinder is called as stele. Okay, central conducting cylinder. Stele includes pericycle, vascular bundles, medulla or pith. You can write stele is differentiated into, or stele includes pericycle, vascular bundles and pith or medulla. And then you see pericycle. This is located next to the endodermis. Okay, ma. Pericycle is located next to the endodermis. This consists of few layers of thick walled parenchymatous cells. This gives rise to lateral roots and pericycle. You can include pericycle as well. Fine. This includes pericycle as well. Also helps in the production of vascular cambium during secondary growth. So both of them, this gives rise to vascular cambium and lateral roots. From pericycle of dicot root, both of them will arise, vascular cambium and dicot root. As such, what type of cambium is formed, ma? Wavy cambium. This also you can describe. Next you see vascular bundles. Arrangement of vascular bundles, that is xylem and phloem are present in the different radii. That is why they are called as what? Radial type of vascular bundle arrangement. So in the xylem and phloem are present in the alternating forms. And number here you can see usually 2 to 4 xylem and phloem number. You can mention it as diarch to tetrarch condition of vascular bundles. Diarch to tetrarch. If you see in the monocot root, it is polyarch. Polyarch arrangement of vascular bundles. Clear, right, ma? Yeah. And how xylem and phloem are arranged here. Protoxylem is towards periphery and metaxylem is towards the center or pith. This type of vascular bundle arrangement is called as exarch type of vascular bundle arrangement. If you see in the stem, it is end arc type, okay, wherein protoxylem is towards the center and metaxylem is towards the periphery. Next here you see cambium. There is no cambium that is present in between xylem and phloem. Vascular bundles are closed type. This is wrong, actually, to be corrected. In dicot root, it is open type of vascular bundles, okay, it is open type, not closed, okay. Yeah, in dicot root it is open type of vascular bundles, not closed, okay. Yeah, conjunctive tissue, parenchymatous conjunctive tissue, just a second. Yeah, parenchymatous tissue that lies in between xylem and phloem, this is called as what? Conjunctive tissue. Secondary growth, during secondary growth vascular cambium arises from conjunctive tissue cells. Next you see medulla or pith. The parenchyma ground tissue which is present at the center is addressed as medulla or pith. Since the development of the xylem is centripetal, centripetal means from periphery to the center. Maturation will start from periphery to center, or growth or development is from periphery to center. This type is called as what? Centripetal. And the pith is small and inconspicuous. Medullary rays are absent in the dicot root. Mnemonic to remember from top to bottom. Every cute elephant can play very merry. Here actually mnemonic is not at all required to remember. How can I tell you is, look into the question, first question, wherein dicot root is given, right. You just draw the diagram and then start on describing the answer, that will be easy for you, okay. Just describe the diagram and then elaborate the explanation. As such you can finish it off. Now the internal structure of monocot root, which is very simple, ma. Here in the monocot root, epidermis, cortex region, everything will be similar. The only change that you have to do for the monocot root is there is no secondary growth, that you can see, and here you can see polyarc vascular bundles. And third change you have to make is from pericycle only lateral roots will arise and there is no vascular cambium that is arising from pericycle region. Clear, right? Yeah. So this completes the monocot root. Monocot root, in the next class we will describe it in clear way, but till here it is clear, right, ma? Today we have exercised two questions. One is dicot root and the second is racemose type of inflorescence with simple raceme, specialized raceme and compound raceme. If you just remember this flow chart, it is enough, ma. Okay, this flow chart will be enough. Yeah. This flow chart will be enough. Fine, right? Yeah. So that's all for today's session, beta. In our next session, we will be looking into the major important questions, long answer type of questions of anatomy and reproduction of flowering plants. Okay? Yeah. That's all for today's session, ma. Thank you.